WTF is cooking, Food Adventures of a Comfort Cook, Mary Kokenauer. I've been requested, how do you make a homemade pasta sauce? And how do you make meatballs? So that's what we're doing today. So let's go. And now, while you can find my recipes at www.comfortcookadventures.com, I'm just going to read off my recipe for homemade pasta sauce. I have 2 crock pots here. What I've done is divided my pasta sauce ingredients in half. Because what's going to happen is when I make the meatballs, the sauce is going to rise up. You don't want to put all your sauce in the pot. Go to put your meatballs in and it overflows. So what I did is I took, and here I'm going to read it to you. I have 7 pounds of crushed tomatoes. That's 112 ounces if you need to know that. There's 4 cups of diced tomatoes, 2 cups of diced onion. I already showed you how to dice an onion on another video. Go look it up. We've got a ½ cup of minced garlic, a ½ cup of grated Parmesan cheese. Why Parmesan cheese? It kind of kills the acid to your sauce and sweetens it up a bit. So no, don't ever put sugar in your sauce. A ½ cup of dried and crushed Italian herbal mix. And that's a mixture of basil, marjoram, oregano, and thyme. Equal amounts of each. Crush them up in your mortar and pestle or get yourself a coffee grinder. Alright, so I've got it divided up into 2 6-quart crock pots. Now we're going to go and make meatballs. Alright, meatballs. We've got 3 pounds of lean ground beef. This is 93.7%. We've got 1 pound of ground pork. Never use breakfast sausage. It's got all kinds of herbs and spices in it that are going to make your meatballs taste lousy. It's got nitrates, just ground sausage. Okay, we also have 1 cup of dried breadcrumbs with some Italian style. You get them in the supermarket. You want to make your own, you get Italian bread, grind it up, whatever. We're going to put that in there. We have a tablespoon of my Italian herbal mixture that I just told you about. We have a tablespoon of minced garlic, tablespoon of the grated Parmesan cheese. Alright, that all goes in there. We got a ½ cup of diced onion. We want all our onions in there. We've got 2 tablespoons of milk. 1 egg that's been slightly beaten. Now, we're going to mix it all up. Don't forget to preheat your oven, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're going to be using a jelly roll pan because we're going to bake our meatballs for 20 minutes. A lot of people fry the meatballs. We want to try to get the oil out of your meat. Not keep it in your meat or add extra oil, because once you put it in the sauce, who wants all that oily sauce? So while our oven's preheating, let's mix up. You're going to get your hands dirty. Look at that. You just get your hands in there and start mixing it all up. Now, okay, so we're going to get our hands in there, get it all dirty, mix all that meat in there. Now, what size meatballs? A lot of people like golf ball size, ping pong ball size. Me, I make my size like tennis balls. What's that, about a 3-inch diameter? Because I want a meatball that's going to go with my pasta and sauce, and I know I'm eating something. I'm not chasing it around the plate going, where is it? You also have to cook your meatballs before you put them in your sauce to cook, because what's going to happen is 5-6 hours from now, if you don't pre-cook them, you're going to open up your sauce, your crock pot, and look at your sauce. You'll have meat sauce. Your meatballs will just fall apart. You need to have the binder in there, and what's going to happen with the baking and or frying is it's going to keep the meatballs together. You're going to get a nice little brown crust on the outside. But what's really going to be amazing, and this is why I like to use the dry breadcrumbs, your meatballs are going to kind of expand a little bit in the sauce. They get bigger. You know, it's like Doctor Who. It's bigger on the inside. Alright, so there's our meatball mixture. Okay, so we've got our jelly pan roll ready. We sprayed just a little bit of nonstick spray on it because we don't want our meatballs, you don't want to go picking up your meatballs and half of it stuck to the pan, okay? So it's going to help not to see, it really won't add the oil. You're going to see all the oil come out. So, you eyeball this, okay? How much is this? I'd say about a half a cup. And you just, look at that. Just roll it around in your hand and put it on your pan. Alrighty? Again, roll it around in the hands. Look at that. If it looks a little too big, take some off. Looks too small, add some in. But as you, am I going too fast? Slow motion. It's in the palm of my hand and I'm rolling it. Look at that. Into the pan. How about that? Now normally with this kind of meat, maybe about 20 to 24 meatballs depending on the size. And like I said, after this jelly roll pan is full, we're going to put it in the oven, 350 degrees, 20 minutes. Now, while I'm making these meatballs and I had that sauce going, I had already turned the sauce, 2 6-quart crock pots. I have them set on low and I've already had them set for an hour. Because when I put the meatballs in there, the meatballs will be hot, the sauce will be hot, so they'll be tempered together. You don't want to put warm meatballs into cold sauce. You want it all kind of evened out. That way it'll cook. So it's going to cook about, anywhere from 4 to 6 hours. It's really how you determine it. Sometimes if I'm in a rush, 4 hours. If I'm not in a big rush, 5 to 6 hours. Now what's going to happen, I'm almost done here, so I'm just going to move these out. Now a lot of people you'll see, when they do this, they'll have the meatballs touching. I really like to get all the heat to go around all the sides of the balls. So I'll leave some room. And that way they'll brown evenly on all the sides. Now way back when I lived in New York, we had this thing in the supermarket, it was called meatloaf mix. And what it was is a pound of ground beef, a pound of ground pork, a pound of ground veal. First of all, you can't find something like that out here in the butt end of Utah. But even if you can find it, oh my God, the price. Veal itself, because we haven't had veal cutlet parmesan and I don't remember how long. I've seen it anywhere between $10 to $12 a pound. God, I remember when we used to get it for like $1 a pound. Then again, that's a long time ago. So you do what you can, and that's why it's mostly pork. So for every 2 pounds, 2 to 3 pounds of ground beef, you're going to use a pound of pork. So what do we got here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 6, 18 meatballs. If I made them a little smaller, maybe to 20. Why would I want smaller? And they look, like I said, they're like tennis ball size, maybe. When they go in the sauce, because of the dry breadcrumbs, they're going to expand out a little. And what's going to happen, the sauce is going to get into those meatballs. You're going to have moist, tender meatballs. They're not going to just fall apart. But I know what's in here. So guess what? They ain't going to bounce like the store-bought ones. Alright, into the oven. Okay, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, been preheated. Meatballs into the oven. 20 minutes. Don't keep poking at the door looking at it. Just 20 minutes. Bye. Okay, it's been 20 minutes. Let's go play with our balls. As you can see, they're steaming, and you can see they've browned up a bit. And put it here on our counter. Now what we've got ready is paper towels and a pair of tongs. I'm going to take the lids off our crock pots, and we're going to divide this in half. You're going to look inside. You can see it's been cooking. And everything on low. So the reason for the paper towels, you can see oil came out. We're going to dab it. Look at that. And then put it into our sauce. We're going to put this 18 meatballs. We're going to divide it in half, 9 in each pot. See, and I sprayed it, and they're coming right out. You're not leaving half your meatball in your pan. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And we're going to take it, push the meatballs down into your sauce. You can see how the sauce is rising up, and it'll rise up even more. Now, a lot of you are saying, why didn't you use paste? Sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't. What I usually do is I wait to see after the meatballs have cooked for 4 to 6 hours. I'll pull them out. If my sauce is a little too thin, I'll stir some paste in. I don't like to put the paste in beforehand because I don't want it too thick that you can't really share the sauce too much then. Alright, now this crock pot over here, I'm going to do the same thing. Look at all that oil coming off. Is that disgusting? You don't want that in your sauce. Look at that. Now, as the meatballs cook, the sauce itself is going to permeate them. It's going to get in there. You are going to have tender, tasty meatballs that aren't going to fall apart on you, that's for sure. But they ain't going to bounce. Who wants bouncy meatballs? Makes you wonder, what did they put in the meatballs that you buy at the store that they bounce? Alright. And see, we can push these down in the sauce. They're not breaking apart. You put raw meatballs in your sauce, expect to get meat sauce. Alright, lid is on. So I'm going to cook these for about 5 hours. See ya. Oh, we're going to have bean spaghetti tonight. We're going to have the old-fashioned classic spaghetti and meatballs. What kind of pasta should you use? Whatever you want. Hey, you can do ravioli, you can do tortellini, you can use rigatoni, penne, ziti, spaghetti, linguine, whatever you want. It's your dinner. Eat it. Are you ready for some homemade pasta sauce and authentic Italian meatballs? Let's look into the crock pot. So we're going to take the lid off. Yeah, it's steamy. Look at that sauce. Look at that. Look at that. Look at those meatballs. Look at all that sauce. Steam fogging up our camera lens. Who cares? We're going to be eating this. Okay, we're going to take a look at what my meatballs look like inside. So we're going to put a little meatball there. Here we go. We're going to break this baby open. Look at that. How tender that is. Look at that. Look at that. The meat. You've got the onions, you got some garlic with the sauce. Ooh, look at that. Ooh. This is heaven. This is good. You ain't gonna find no better in the grocery store. Make it at home, it'll always be better. Yeah, cook this up. Steaming too, just came out of the pot. So we're I just spoon some sauce over here. Look at those onions, chunky tomatoes. You don't like it chunky? Fine. Immersion blender. Puree it before you put the meatballs in. And now the meatballs. Look at that. You can see the garlic. Oof. And our sauce. Alright. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Alright. Some grated Parmesan cheese. Put a few white snow caps on there. You can never have enough cheese, right? Here is your authentic spaghetti and meatball dinner. Alright, so you serve this up to your friends, your family, yourself. You are going to be in food heaven. So, Mary Coconauer, Food Adventures of a Comfort Cook, www.comfortcookadventures.com. You'll find the recipes there and lots more. Alright, have a good dinner.